All expected it eventually, but maybe not this soon.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, as you know, it's very well known that we actually agreed terms with Ben Whittaker about 3 years ago. We filmed the promo. He was throwing money in the air in his promo shoot, and I was looking at him at the time thinking, we got one here. And then this offer came in, and they told us about it, and we said, you got to take it. It was that crazy. So it was at a period of time where, you know, that first 6, 7, 8, 9 fights, it's a little bit less important. He's done a great job building himself. I think his profile is, you know, arguably the biggest in British boxing right now, even up there with AJ and Fury in terms of followings and stuff like that. But for me, as a fight fan, I look at the quality of the fighter, and I think this is a guy that can go on and mix it with all of the best and become world light heavyweight champion. And we need to do the right job for him. He's only had 10 fights. Outside of Liam Cameron, he hasn't really fought anyone at all, of even really British title level. Yeah. So we need these 2 or 3 fights now just to get him into a position to fight, not even the likes of Beterbiev and Bivol, but the likes of, I don't know, Callum and Boatsi and Yard and those kind of names, because we've got to get this right. Because if we get it right, this guy's going to fill stadiums all around the world. And his development is really important. And of course, his development as well under Andy Lee, who I feel is one of the best trainers in the world.
When do you think we'll see him in a big fight? Do you feel it'll be in the next 6 to 9 months?
Yeah, next summer. I think, you know, I like this fight. Like, you know, Gavazi's a good fighter. He's a good amateur. He's undefeated in 7 years, just coming off a good win. WBC international champion. You know, we know it's not Bivol and Yard and Callum, but there's got to be a development. You know, we're coming off a good win against Liam Cameron, who's, again, a kind of British level fighter. We need more fights like this, and we expect to have this one. Then we go to America in early 2026, and then we come back in a much bigger fight in Birmingham early next summer. Against, you know, don't forget there's different levels. You know, there's the likes of, I don't know, Willie Hutchinson, Dan Aziz, Craig Richards, these kind of guys. Then you've got Callum, Boatsi, Yard. Then you've got Bivol, Beterbiev, Benavidez, and we've got to make sure that we get to those levels. And Ben's got all the ability to do it. This is just not a guy that's just got a big profile and is quite funny and knows how to, you know, really promote himself digitally. He's a top quality fighter, but we've got to give him the chance to get there.
Ed, we've seen Ben Whittaker's obviously become synonymous for the showboating and the antics. Do we think you'll see that against Gavazi, and have we actually seen the best of Ben Whittaker's skill level?
Yeah, I actually like the matchup. I mean, Andy Lee's, you know, a real specialist in this. When I watched a few opponents, I like Gavazi because he's upright, he's quite aggressive, he's got a good jab, he's got good fundamentals, very tough. And I think it will allow for Ben to go through the gears and show how good he is against someone that's coming to win. This is a difference. When we looked at guys, you know, 26-4 and all this kind of stuff, this guy hasn't lost since, ironically, his pro debut against, I think, a 3 or 4-0 fighter. He's unbeaten for 7 years. I know their team. They're thinking, we can beat Ben Whittaker. Because still, there'll be some question marks over Ben Whittaker. And I like that, because in the short term, it will allow us to match him against good opposition. And better opposition that might not fancy the job. Unfortunately, if he starts to showcase what I think he's got, he will become tougher to match. But this is a good test for him.
Eddie, WBC silver title on the line. Dalton Smith winning that. I think he got a top 3 ranking.
Yeah.
Is it also obviously taking the time, but if the opportunity can come with the WBC, to take it as well?
Not against Dimitri Bivol or against David Benavidez yet, because we don't need those fights yet. And we've got to be ready for those fights when they come. That's a whole nother level. Ben's got all the ability to be at that level, but only when the time is right. You know, someone said to me, how many fights till he fights for the world heavyweight title? I said, could be 5. And by the way, at that point, he'd be unbeaten in 15. I mean, it's not like that super experience to fight for a light heavyweight world title. But as the belts start to fragment, and I don't know, Michael Effort fights Conor Wallace, we'd fight the winner of that in February or in Birmingham. So it's all about positioning yourself well across the governing bodies. But we're in no tearing rush with what we've got. I know that, you know, people don't really understand, but why is he not fighting him? Why is he not fighting him? Look at his resume. Look how many fights he's had. We've got to build him in the right fashion. And this is a fast turnaround to get him out against a competitive guy. Let's see the levels. If we struggle here, we're a long way off those guys. But if we go through him and slice him and dice him, as Ben said, then we know that we can push on to the next level.
What's your response to Dana's most recent comment saying you read from WWE script? It was quite cordial before hearing his response.
You guys, I think he said someone's telling him to read from a WWE script. You guys know a couple of things. Number one, I've never had a fucking script in my life. And number two, no one tells me what to say. And you know, all this stuff, I've never seen. Like, I'm a little bit concerned with what I saw from Dana, because I like Dana, and I don't want it to go like this for him. But I saw that interview, I was like, it's over. It's over before it's even started. I mean, how loud do you want to talk, right? We've seen this before, where the blood pressure starts going through the roof. You got just chill. It's only little old me that doesn't think big enough, you know? So just chill. We don't have to scream and shout. We don't have to lose our temper. The blood pressure doesn't have to go out of control. You do your thing, I'll do my thing. You know, we've seen the rumoured success with the Muhammad Ali Act. We know what that is. But we just keep doing what we're doing. And I like our spot right now.
Could I just ask you again, you posted on your story, I think you said, I don't want to misquote you, was it too angry too early?
Yeah.
Did you expect it to get to this level?
No. I expect Dana to go, oh, Eddie Hearn, you know, I like the guy, I'm looking forward to the battle. But all of a sudden I just saw this anger and this tension, and like, whoa, you know, on one hand we're not a threat, and two, you've lost your shit already. We haven't even started yet. I mean, you haven't got a boxing product yet, and it started. So listen, this is bread and butter to me. The difference between Dana and me is I've been in those battles for 15 years with Frank, with Bob, with Oscar, with all of them, and it is literally like riding a bike for me. I see these warning signs like I saw in that video, and I just thought, oh my God, this could be a little bit easier than I thought. But don't get me wrong, it's going to be a fun fight. But like I said, this is bread and butter for me. I don't mind when someone says something negative about me. You don't see me boiling over and screaming down at the interviewer. Just chilled. But I think they should answer some real questions. You know, and the most pressing question is, why do you want to change the Muhammad Ali or abolish the Muhammad Ali Act that is intact to protect fighters?
We've seen the pay-per-view announcement from the Zone about the sort of new subscription that's going to be coming in, the Fight Pass. Can you talk to me about how that is going to manage working with the Zone and what the fans can expect from that, and whether it's a good move for boxing going forward?
Yeah, I think that, you know, I don't think anyone's ever going to fully get the boxing model right, because it's such a sport that can change so quickly. You know, all of a sudden you can say we're not going to do pay-per-view anymore. Then you bring in this mega fight that can really only be funded by pay-per-view. So I prefer to be a little bit liquid. And if you actually look back at what I said at the years, I never said pay-per-view is dead. I said pay-per-view is dead at that price point, which is $89, $99. And I think that is the case. So I like subscription models. And if you look, we've tried to not do that many pay-per-view events. But then you have Riyadh season coming in with all these huge shows, and then you get more pay-per-views. So it's just a fluctuation over time.
Eddie, the signing of Conor Mitchell last night took a few people by surprise, but another addition to the Matchroom stable there.
Yeah, I mean, Conor Mitchell is a guy that I've, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, see him in the gym as a kid, you know, used to watch him on the pads and think, wow, one day, you know, and a lot of these younger guys, like Diego Pacheco, you know, he's 24 years of age now, I still sometimes look at him as a 17-year-old that we signed, and I look at Conor Mitchell now becoming a man, and a very, very talented fighter. I mean, Kevin Mitchell had so much ability, but didn't quite live the life. And if he would have lived the life, he would have 1,000,000% become world champion. There is absolutely no doubt about it. Conor really lives the life. I mean, literally his entire life is boxing. And it's not easy, but he'll get every opportunity with us. I like the storyline. I like the young man himself. He's going to be working with Conor Ben as well, which is, you know, important to us. And, you know, I really believe he can make his own name within the sport.
With the fan base that Kevin brought to his fights, we could see there could be a massive potential way to build a massive star, couldn't there?
Yeah, and you've seen the affiliation with West Ham as well, like his dad had. You know, people like the family, right? They're good people. And when you look at the fighters coming through from that area and East London and Dagenham and Essex, and a massive night for George Liddard tonight, a huge fight. Jimmy Sains, Chris is his dad, who I used to go clubbing with as well. So Chris. Another opportunity to win the English title. Like, these guys have got big support. Johnny Fisher, you know, all those guys, and Conor's going to piggyback on those guys as he builds his own fan base.
Eddie, Gunman Boxing. How you doing, big man?
Fantastic.
Good to see you as always. Listen, huge signing for Matchroom Boxing. The rest of the promoters are moving like Ian Bill, and you are moving like Grant and Phil. how big a signing was it, Ben Whittaker, for you guys, and how are you feeling about another promotion putting their show on the same day as yours?
Yeah, someone said to me, what do you think about the competition? I was like, it's not competition. I mean that respectfully. Ben Whittaker is a superstar, right? And listen, I like Fraser and Jamie TKV, but it's like, I don't believe that fight's going to happen, personally. It's just a hunch that I have. And two, you ain't missing Ben Whittaker. Now, this is the thing with Ben Whittaker. Whether you don't like him, whether you like him, whether you pretend you don't care, you're going to tune into this young man. We've seen the numbers that he's been doing. We know his numbers socially and digitally. The guy is box office. And as this fight builds up, as the promotion builds up, there's only one place you'll be November 29th. I said earlier, it's a little bit like PSG or Real Madrid worrying about some conference team playing on the same night. And I don't mean that about the fighters, because I don't want to be disrespectful, because Big Fraser gets angry sometimes. Big lump. But I'm just talking about in general. Like, it is literally chalk and cheese.
Ian Bill team.
I like that.
Have you just
like Ian Bill, but I'm like Grant. Thank you, mate.
have you spoken to Ben Shalom since the announcement, and what's your kind of response to him going on the same
Have
night?
I spoken to him? Has anyone spoken to him? I mean, when did you guys last speak to Ben Shalom? Did he even go to his press conference for the BBC event? I mean, it's just wild. The one thing you've got to learn is when the chips are down and everything's stacked against you, you've got to front it out, right? He should be calling you guys in, going, right, ask me whatever you want. Let me tell you what's happening now. Yeah, I lost my deal with Sky, but guess what? I'm on BBC. I'm with terrestrial TV. Fucking let's have but he's rather, Jesus, I don't want to say anything. That's the worst thing you can do. I don't think Ben Shalom goes, I'm going to put this fight on November 29th to get to Eddie Hearn and Ben Whittaker. I don't believe that. I just think that was probably the only date that was available. Now, whether the fight happens or not, that's another story. So we will see. But for me, you've got to front it out.
Enough of him now, lads.
This is a problem. I'm not going to get a word in.
I just asked Eddie about the showboating.